Hello everyone, welcome to Higher Plane Games. My name's Simon. Today we're taking a look at Voyage 21, a new game that's just been released on Steam. Reminds me very much of Race to the Sun, where you're floating around through different zones and areas trying to dodge everything and occasionally shoot an enemy in this game specifically. The other one was more about dodging and survival. This one's very similar in terms of look and in terms of feel, in terms of gameplay. As you can see, the look is very different. It reminds me of Tron, actually. However, its premise remains very similar. So you have a daily run, which gives you 30 levels that you can do every day that are slightly generated, the same for everyone. But I'll explain as we play through, and I think we'll go for endless run actually, as opposed to daily run, because it will start me off where I'd left. Endless run is just procedurally generated, new every time that you play. So hopefully this will start us at the beginning. Yes, it does. And as you can see, you're just floating through and trying to avoid things as you go. I've got a boost on mine, so that means I'm going quite nice and quickly. So you can see all of these little buildings or lines that are coming up, blocks in the way that I need to avoid. For everyone on the daily mode, these are identical, but what's different is that as you play more of the game and you level up with more experience and more success, additional obstacles and enemies are added into your game on top of the stuff that's there for everyone, which is those blocks that go up. So I hope that makes sense for people, because if you go to level 2 you won't get what's just happened there if this was your first go playing it, because that's a new load of weapons. Same with this thing called a troll wall, that's not really a wall, you can just go through it, it's just that it puts you off and you can't see what's beyond it. That's a windmill, which is the first thing that you unlock as a thing that you need to survive. And these little buggers as well. So essentially, the more you play, the harder and more varied the game becomes, and it's quite generous on its level up XP, which is nice. And it means that when you are introduced to things, you've got it. I suppose the idea is that you're supposed to then be on a constant learning curve with new things and new activities and new things to deal with, which is quite nice. In terms of controls, everything is really nice and fluid when you're actually controlling the... as it crashes. When you're controlling the ship itself, you can feel the weight behind it, and yes, you can fall off the road either side, you just drop off and die. And I appreciate the fact that there is some gravitas and weight to the ship as it goes through, because it then feels like you're having to build momentum for what you're doing. What I will say though is that if you... where you're kind of boosting to try and go as fast as possible through the level, if you do take your finger off of the right trigger to go faster, is how I've got it there. You can do keyboard or controller for this game. It's you don't necessarily get more of a tighter turning axis for going slower, which kind of defeats the object of going slower when you've got much more of a trickier way of dealing with things. The penalty for failing a level is not like you're dead and it's like permadeath and that's the end of your run. You just go back to the beginning of that section. So if you're doing the daily plays and you want to try and get through all 30 levels, actually, oh there we go, you'll just put back to the beginning. You can see it's got a little marker of where I died there, and you'll cross that marker as I go through, hopefully, if I manage to survive another day. The windmills all go at different speeds, so you really have to be quite observant as to how fast they're going, as to which direction you feel you should go in. So it put me back at the beginning. I think it has, you know. We'll soon find out. Yeah, it must be. Say endless one. Yeah. So endless, one death and you're dead. With Daily Run, however, it's less of that case. So as you can see with Daily Run, things are a little bit more dramatic as I try and get my way through, because I'm about 6 or 7 levels into this one. So I want to go... Am I going to get... Yes, I am. Alright, so this was where I was crashing before. Yeah. Bit cheatsville, but I don't care. I think I can get in under this one, yes. And under you as well, just. I think I'll do the same. Good, that's a troll. Getting through you. Oof. Ah! Oh, thank God I got the shield. Not that it mattered, I nearly crashed straight again then. Phew! So you can kind of see the difficulty of where the game is going long term. So I'm just going to quit out of that. The other thing you've got as well is that as you're unlocking new levels for yourself, you have modules that you can add on to your ship as well. So I'm on the Hyper Hamster at the moment, 3000. You get a variety of different things that you can have for engines. So I was on the Beaver. I'll go for the Blue Hedgehog. But as you can see, the cruise speed goes up. And the Blue Hedgehog is less manoeuvrable. So it becomes to a point where you're thinking, right, do I want to go for speed in terms of outright pace, or would I rather stick with the Beaver for manoeuvrability? So that's the stuff that you've got to make. I'm already on the best lasers there. Well, I don't have side lasers, so I'll have those. Then you have these things that you can try and deal with. So this will give me plus 10 ability, which is nice. And that's essentially all there is to Void 21. It's one of those games where I think you could quite happily play for a couple of minutes every day and get your fill of it and then move on. But it's one of those ones that you may want to come back to over and over and over again, because the progression of difficulty ramps up with your progression of experience, and I really like that parallel dilemma that you have. So, I recommend Void 21, really nice game. I should be playing a little bit more of this after my review, and we'll see where I get up to. So thank you very much for watching Higher Plane Games. My name's Simon. You guys take care. Do like, comment and subscribe should you feel the need to do so. There is also a Patreon if you'd like to contribute to supporting everything. Oh, and we come! The meaning of life. Thanks for that Steam achievement game. Bye!